Last quarter, for my capstone project, I decided to build Radicate, a mobile application for radiologic technologists. The application provides instant access to educational content and was designed based on feedback from subject matter experts. It has three main features: a content library, an application drawer, and a positioning guide. The live demo has been available in the Google Play Store since May 31st. For my independent study course, I chose to generate content for one of Radicate's main features, the positioning guide. I wanted to focus on a feature that could be completed quickly, allowing me to release it and get feedback from actual users. This strategy, known as a minimum viable product release, is common for tech startups and helps build the application's user base. I wanted to provide some quick background information for those unfamiliar with Radicate's features. The positioning guide feature is basically navigated using an anatomical model broken up into body segments. Each body segment is identified with color blocking and a superimposed radiograph. Clicking on the body segment guides users to a list of projections. Once the user has selected a projection, they're directed to the projection submenu. The default screen for this menu is the Overview tab, which lists the projection and shows an image of the body part. When the user taps on this image, a radiograph appears, showing the underlying anatomy. Users can swipe or tap at the bottom menu to access other sections in the projection submenu. The second tab, Details, provides technical information. It also lets the user save their preferred technique to the phone. Projections can also be accessed using the drawer of the application, which slides out from the left-hand side of the screen. Users can begin typing the name of a projection, and as they type, the list will filter the projections in real time. Projections are listed by name and also have an icon. Whenever new content is added, icons have to be created to populate these search results. The project had three main goals: to generate composite images for the projection overview, to create icons for the drawer search results, and to compile technical information for the projection details page. Due to time constraints, content was only generated for 2 of the 5 tabs in the positioning guide, with 15 or so items being created for each project goal. Alright, so here's a quick overview. First, I'm going to talk about what was accomplished. The project essentially focused on creating 3 types of content: composite images, search icons, and technical information. After we go over that, I'll talk a little bit about how the content was actually created. I combined radiographs and positioning images to create 15 composite images for the project. A composite image is basically a picture made by combining multiple images and merging them into a single surface. On the right, you can see the composite image in the application, and on the left, you can see the original images used to create it. 20 icons were created to populate search results. Each image was set to 72 dpi and attached to the relevant projection. Sometimes, one projection had multiple names. So the search result was also connected to multiple keywords. For example, the keyword Grashy was connected to the entry for AP oblique shoulder. The Details tab of the projection submenu required extensive technical information for completion. 15 entries were compiled based on the graphics that had already been completed. The data was stored in a simple text file so that it could be easily imported into the application. Content development is a complex process that involves combining different media inputs into an output that an end user desires. For Radicate, our inputs are radiographs, composite images, and technical data, and our desired output is the positioning guide. My first task involved collecting and sourcing radiographs. Licensing images, though, can be complicated, so to keep things simple, I collected radiographs that had been released into the public domain, which meant they had no use restrictions. I also sourced radiographs with Creative Commons licenses, which permitted free commercial use with attribution. I wanted to quickly show you how composite images are created in Adobe Photoshop. So if you look below, you're slowly seeing the internal oblique knee image being assembled. After roughly lining the radiograph up to the body part, I basically changed the opacity of certain pixels until it looks like a ghost image. Sometimes it can be really challenging if the radiograph doesn't line up with the positioning image exactly. For example, with feet or hands, I have to go in and line up each digit. Data for the Details tab of the Projection submenu was collected from multiple sources including Wikiradiography, Radiopedia, the Wikimedia Commons, and Merrill's Atlas of Radiographic Positioning and Procedures. I also consulted with students and technologists to see whether or not terminology used in academia matched real-world practices. This project helped Radicate make a big step towards the ultimate goal of an alpha release. I created a lot of content, and I have a better idea about how much is left to create. I'll continue developing material for the positioning guide, completing one projection after another. In the future, the primary goal will be to refine the existing application and plug in material. There's plenty of content to create. However, I also want to look at adding other features. I even designed the application so that new features could easily be added without having to redo the entire program. All in all, my project goals were met. I was able to generate some content for the positioning guide, but for a minimum viable product release, there's still a lot of work to do. I hope to continue working on Radicate and anticipate releasing the first full version in summer 2018. Thanks for listening, and I hope you check the application out at www.radicate.com.